name is Chris, but I go by Derpy. I'm a part of Team Edge TCG. We're a competitive Riftbound team out of Long Island, New York, and I wanted to talk about how I tied for Best of Leblanc in the Hartford RQ. I did not get it. I lost it on tiebreakers, which there were a few of us that were tied at 10 and 3, but I did get 78th place, which I'm super happy about and proud of my performance, walking away with a fun little Vex playmat. I'm going to jump right into the deck because I don't want this to drag out. I have Leblanc, obviously. The yellow Leblanc, I do not side the blue one. I just think the yellow one, for me and my playstyle, is better. I do not like to brick, so having a card that instantly draws you, one or maybe two or more if you can reflect her is so beneficial to those games where you just feel like, what am I supposed to do with the cards they gave me? Star Spring going blind, Windswept first, Aspirant's Climb going second. I actually flip Windswept and Aspirants if I'm playing in the mirror, because if my opponent kind of turns the corner on the Windswept game where I'm going first, and maybe I don't open a 2-drop, or I, can't really get over like a turn 2 Vi reflected, then it feels really bad. So I kind of just like canceling out the Windswept game, seeing if I can win it. If not, then I just feel super good in my late game decision making on Aspirants, especially if it's against a mid-range Leblanc, which one of my games matches at Hartford was a mid-range Leblanc, in which I did what I said, and going Aspirants going first game 3 was super beneficial. 8 and 4 for the runes, which is normal. I wouldn't change that. Units, I have a few things here that aren't standard, so I play 2 Watchful Sentry instead of 3, but I play 7 2-drops overall. Honest Broker was a great performing card for me. Having the extra might compared to Sentry is actually relevant. There's so many cards running around with 0 or 1 might that it actually made a difference. But also just not deramping on, turns 3, turns 4, turns 5 when you're playing cards like Karthus, Vi, Runedrex, Glask, Baited Hook, like all these things cost runes, so, or cost power. So having that extra gold just felt really good. I actually went up to 3 of these. That's the one major change that I'm making. So I'm going to 8 2-drops because unfortunately all 3 of my match losses came after I didn't open a 2-drop. Going first in at least one of the games that I played. So really rough, but, it helps me make this change. I also play Otacon in the main deck. This is the best performing card for me in the entire deck. It's just such a looming threat when it's in the back line. It can't get like charmed in because charm just, it's still the attacker. So unless they have multiple cards, like a 2-drop and a charm or what have you, on decks like Master Yi or Aurelia, they really just can't play around this card. And all the might that they get and free might that they get, it doesn't actually do anything. Plus, it just has ganking. So if you're not on Windswept, or if you don't have a unit for Star Spring and you need to gank over, you can do that. Everything else is fairly standard. I play 2 Mirror Image in main and 1 inside, and then I do main 1 Death Grip for the purple matchup. Purple is, difficult. I played 6 unique purple decks this weekend. I was 7-0 against non-purple, and I was only 3-3 against purple decks, so it's something that I need to maybe play around more. This definitely helped in certain scenarios. Just getting value out of cards that were getting bounced is great. The occasional kill one of your units in the back to fizzle Gust is also really fun. So yeah, sideboard. The only thing I would change here is Safety Inspector. I did not play this card a singular time in Hartford. Ash is another consideration of something that I might not play as much anymore. It's really for the Aurora matchup for the most part, and this deck already feels super strong into Aurora. I don't think I've lost to an Aurora on this Hook list. I lost like against an Aurora on mid-range LeBlanc, but since I switch over to Hook, I just have not lost to that deck. I think it just already plays super well into it, so I might change this, but definitely changing this. Throwing in an Unchecked Power and a Black Rose Dignitary. Just more consistency, and then unchecked against Master Yi, because Master Yi is very popular right now. Going into my matches for the weekend, I played against Vex in round 2 after having a bye in round 1. I got absolutely smoked. I did not draw a 2-drop in game 2. So he just went Mauser into Vex, into hidden cards, into drawing a million. I could just not catch up. So my regional qualifier started really poorly, and I was just trying not to get tilted. I won round 3 against Leblanc to improve to 2-1. Lost round 4 into a Jinx. He had no hand. Top decked 2 cards that he needed to win, which, hey, that's Riftbound. You know, sometimes you get the cards you need, sometimes you don't. I wasn't, super happy in this moment, being 2-2, knowing that I pretty much can't lose the rest of the tournament if I want to get to where I want to get to. So it was very tough, but I bounced back. The next 4 rounds, actually, after that, I only dropped 1 game. So round 5, I beat a Pike 2-0. Round 6 was actually a team kill. Shout out to Joe. We had a great time. I was super sad to, knock him out of the tournament, basically, because we were both X2. He was on Ezreal, which is a terrible matchup, but thankfully I scraped out one of the first 2 games, and then in game 3, he just super bricked. He actually had to singularity me on curve turn 3 and then turn 4 again, just to kind of stay afloat. So I got a bit lucky there, which, things balance out. You get a little unlucky, somebody top decks something, and then you get lucky. It's a long tournament. The next 2 rounds, I 2-0'd. One was against an Ornn. Our first game went like 35 plus minutes, and then the second game I kind of just ran away with it. But it was super close that first game. And then round 8, TCG Pyrotech, shout out to him. Honestly, awesome guy. He owns a store in South Florida and is a part of a team. The name is escaping me right now, so forgive me for that. But he gave me some awesome reflection tokens. He was still in contention for Best of Ari, which obviously we've seen how much that sold for. So I do feel bad that, somebody had to win, but somebody had to win. So I move on to day 2, feeling super confident after those final 4 rounds and, only dropping the 1 game. And then I get absolutely smoked by a Teemo. So it sometimes it just happens, in peaks and valleys in this game, and you just have to stay level-headed as best you can, which I was trying to do. I was struggling to do a little bit, because I just walked away laughing from this match. I lost in about 14 minutes, both combined for the 2 games, and I was just like, what? There's nothing I could have done here. He had double Sprite Fountain game 1 early, and I just had no way of getting over his hiddens because he defended with a blue Teemo, and hit 4 hiddens and killed my LeBlanc. So it was 5-0 before I even contested a battlefield again. And then I just kind of saw Gust and Starcrossed and Gust, and it was just okay, there's just not much I can do here. Game 2 was funny. It was Arenas and Windswept. I didn't open a 2-drop again. He opened Sneaky Deckhand. So, it was 4-1 before I got to the first showdown, because he conquers with Sneaky and Arenas. That's 2. Holds with Sneaky because I have to play a unit because I didn't have a unit turn 1. And then he goes gank, reveal his hidden, which was another unit, go 4, hide a card on each side, pass the turn. So I lose there. I know I can't lose from here on out. I play against Twisted TCG. Shout out to him. Awesome guy. My friend actually played against him, and my friend and teammate actually played against him, and he won. Twisted won and beat my friend to make top 16 in Pittsburgh's 25K, the PPG. So I actually told him before the match started, I was like, dude, I need to get revenge. So thankfully I did, and I won. Just an awesome guy to play with and talk to. So if he happens to see this, shout out to you. And going from there, I finally got Master Yi. I was begging all weekend to play against Master Yi's. This is the best matchup, which is why I think Leblanc is in a super good place right now, because Master Yi is obviously running rampant. I played against a Yi in round 11, played against a Yi in round 12, and I beat them both. It's such a good matchup. Round 13, I played against a mono yellow Rek'Sai. One of the coolest guys I've ever met in an event. We were laughing, we were having fun, really just doing what Riftbound's about. I mean, this is for, top 64 potentially. It's, the last match of a long weekend. And instead of being, cranky, or instead of being, you know, um, super serious about the game, which by all means, take your game serious, guys. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We just decided to have fun, and that was great for the two of us. It got down to game three. I had double conquered. It's 7-8. He plays Grand Stratagem, taps himself out. I thankfully had a death grip to hold my reflection, to keep my reflection alive on one side. He is on the other side. He goes to 8. I'm at 8. He has a Rek'Sai trigger, hits an Under Titan, doesn't have Call the Weak, but plays Void Rush, doesn't hit a Call the Weak off that. He passes the turn. It's 8-8. I react to my temporary trigger with Vi to hold to 9, and win the game. He was super, super nice about it, super cool about it. It was an incredible way to end my tournament, to win, which wasn't the first time in the tournament that I won off Vi, but in this scenario, I drew it off the Death Grip, and the LeBlanc. It was the last card I drew off those two draws. And, my eyes brightened, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can win the game. And thankfully I did. It was an amazing match. Super, super close. Super fun deck that he was playing, not something that I've seen before. And that was it. I ended 10-3 on LeBlanc. I felt good about it. I ended up bubbling out of top 64. I got 78th. So I walk away with a top 128 Vex playmat. I actually got 81st in Atlanta and was second for Best of Darius. So I've come super close at both the RQs that I've gone to. It's something that I really want to take the next step. I got a top 8 at a CCS in Houston back in set 1. But, since then, I've fallen just short of kind of where I want my goals to be, which is, top 64, top 8 potential, best of cards, and, goals such as those, which I hope a lot of you out there have. So while I am happy with the performance, I am going to make the minor changes that I spoke about and try and, go forward and, give a really strong performance at one of these upcoming tournaments before set 3 is over. If you're interested in playing LeBlanc, there is potential that I could put out a more in-depth guide. However, I think join in for one of the live streams. I will be playing LeBlanc on stream, probably trying to climb the Runes and Rift ladder. And I will also be live streaming from my local game store, live card games, not just on the computer. So if you're interested in something like that, subscribe, comment down below that you're interested, and let me know. And if you have any cool stories from either the Hartford RQ or any other big tournaments or small tournaments, let me know. My interactions at Hartford were so great with so many different people, friends, strangers, opponents, and everything in between. It was an incredible time, and it just seemed like everyone that I ran into was having a great time, having fun. All my opponents were very nice, very respectful, and I very much enjoyed that. It's not always the case, but at this RQ, it just seemed that every single person I played against was, laughing and having fun, and I like to joke around, and it was a really great time. So I would love to hear more positive stories in the comments below about your experience at these tournaments, or maybe specifically at Hartford. Other than that, just check back for more content coming soon, and I'll see you guys later.